You haven't booked the tickets yet, have you?" I winced, hastily turning down the volume on my computer as Lee Flynn, frantic and frowning, popped up on FaceTime. I looked from him to the Google Chrome window on my screen. 2 seats to JFK, baggage included, 1 for Mr. Lee Flynn, 1 for Miss Rochelle Evans. Dude, you don't have to yell. I'm literally doing it right now. I'm just picking our seats. You're getting the aisle seat. I know you said you like the window, but you'll be getting up to pee like all the time, and I just can't deal. You know it's costing about $20 extra each to add. Abort mission, Chelly, my best friend since forever shouted at me. Lee leaned closer to his phone until I could just see the top half of his face, his forehead creased, and his eyebrows knitted together. His dark brown hair was sticking up at odd angles, and his blue eyes pierced me right through the screen. Do not book the flights. What? But... My mind rattled. Why didn't he want me to book the flights? We'd been planning this trip for weeks. Spring break was coming up, and we'd decided to mark the occasion with a trip across the country. It was our senior year of high school. We had been working our butts off to get good grades for college, and we deserved to have some fun. Plus, Noah, my boyfriend, and Lee's older brother, was in his first year of college in Boston, on the other side of the country, which I had to admit was a big factor in me wanting to visit the East Coast. I wasn't entirely selfish, though. Lee's girlfriend of about a year, Rachel, had just been accepted to Brown, which was only an hour's drive from Harvard. Rachel and her parents were going out to take a look around the campus. While I spent time with Noah, Lee would head down to Rhode Island to meet up with Rachel. The plan had been to fly into JFK Airport in New York and drive to Boston from there, but not before spending a day in New York to visit a few of the tourist traps. I was so excited to see the Statue of Liberty. I'd never been to New York before. Actually, I hadn't really left California much before. We had it all planned, an epic trip to celebrate our senior year. And suddenly Lee was yelling at me to abort mission? Did you and Noah have a fight? I demanded, scowling at him. Lee and his brother had an unbreakable bond, but they didn't always see eye to eye. I should know. I'd watched them grow up together, and I knew both of them well. Lee and I were the same age, to the day, and we'd been best friends our entire lives. Our moms had been good friends too, until my mom passed away in a car accident when I was younger. Lee and Noah never had big fights, though. The only time I'd really seen them fight for real was last summer, when Lee found out that Noah and I had been secretly dating. I still felt guilty about not telling Lee, even though he'd forgiven me. It was the only time I'd ever lied to him. No, we didn't. Lee hesitated. Did you and Rachel have a fight? Lee, what the hell is... I screwed up, he blurted, holding his phone farther away so I could see his whole face. I was hit with the full force of his puppy dog expression, which didn't always work on me. You know how I was gonna sort out the car rental? Yeah. So it turns out nobody will rent to us because we're not 21. I groaned and leaned over my desk, pressing my hands to my face. The news shouldn't have surprised me. I was usually the more organized of the two of us, something I attributed to having looked after my little brother Brad a lot. Lee could be much more spur of the moment. Of course he hadn't noticed the age restriction until the very last second. Exasperated, I cried, Lee, you said you checked it all out. Well, yeah, I thought I did. You know, I Googled and it said there were extra fees if you're under 25 sometimes, but that's fine. But then I thought maybe I could rent it in Noah's name. Lee! But my mom overheard me asking him about it on the phone. Oh my God, I huffed. I loved my best friend more than anything, but sometimes he could get a little too carried away. Please tell me you weren't actually planning on doing that. I'm pretty sure it's like a crime.